will give you 1 hour free training on how to do laser repair. I think 2 years before I've been launching this video already. You will see this live in my channel 2 years before, I think roughly, maybe more than 2 years. And why we're doing again today another live about this is because in these 2 years, many things has changed. We've trained about more than 50 companies that coming over from globally, every country, from India, from Turkey, from France, from Russia, and from many countries that we have many friends coming to be trained. And 2 years before, the tools even we offered, they made in China. They are not Fujikura, but they were very expensive. Last year we cut the cost, so now it's become much more affordable. And also, people came here to be trained 2 years before they come back to their country, and they already start running this business. Now they are keep buying cables and parts, and their business is growing. So today I'm going to bring you, of course, this introduction of how to do laser source repair. From first, we need to know what kind of how laser source is composed of, and what's the most common failures they have, and how to solve it, and what kind of tools you need it. And in this, it's similar to what I have introduced 2 years before, but upon on that, we will give you updated information about all the tools and how the lessons, the 3 days training course composed of, and you have a view that this is simply our lab here in Wuhan. We repair lasers every day. So let's come back to the beginning. Why we do this kind of training course? There are some, I know some other companies also doing this, but not many. Why? I think most of you who are interested in this topic probably involved in sheet metal fabrication business. Either you're selling laser cutting machine or laser welding machine, or you are dealing a laser machine business, or you are engineer, service engineer, you have a technical background and you want to start your own business, or you want to help your laser machine business. So in any case, we know the trend that laser now is coming from China, because the price, because the branding, and so when you buy laser machine from China, and if they have failure in your country, especially the source, of course you can touch the electrical circuits, mechanical problems, you can solve it locally. But for the source, mostly you probably need to send it back to China, and then they repair in for Max and Breakers. They have their stock house in the customers. Even maybe you don't need to import, but still you take time to shipping back and repair and then shipping back to you. That's the cost of money and time. Or like Breakers and Max, they have service station in Germany, in India, globally. They are setting up now, but still they are too busy. For these giant companies, they're running an overseas branch and hiring engineers there, and they also need to be trained, and they need to be equipped with the tools. So again, like if you're in Europe, in Czech Republic or Yugoslavia, and you got laser broken, you need to go to Germany and maybe on the waiting list to get the things repaired. So still, if you sell a laser machine to your customer, if they have a failure on the laser, they want it to be repaired just in the same day. So again, I don't need to repeat that why we have to do this. Simply because more and more laser machines has been sold from China to your country, and I think everybody that trained came here Normally, I will have dinner with them, or I will join their lessons. So at least we'll meet, have a tea. So I've accepted more than 50 machine dealers globally, and we share information about how many laser cutting machines, welding machines has been sold in the market from China, and what's the competition they're facing. So to help to grow their business, they have to touch this, because this, we call it the last mile to bring the complete solution to a customer. So you must, laser repair is not so difficult. I mean, for people who don't know, maybe you think, oh, I don't want to open the laser because it's optics, it's electrical, and it's mechanical, and it's much out of my knowledge. But today I just want to break this, and because I'm not engineer, and I've been in the business for many years now. If a laser has a failure, when I travel to Japan, I help my friend repair the laser. So, I mean, for most people, if you have, especially many of you has engineer background, it's nothing special like you repair a TV or some electronics at your home. So today we want to open the laser to you and to play the tools in front of you, to introduce the course, the 3-day training course, so you will be, have an idea. If you attend our training course, you can buy some tools and you can start this business, or you can add this service to your customers in your portfolio. So let's move to the next part. What's the most common failure of a laser source? Mostly is changing the cable. Can you help me? It's a broken cable. Okay. So generally, for cutting or welding business, most frequent scenario is that the cutting head, welding head, dirty, the lens burned, and then back to the QVH crystal. We have a protective cap on 找一个黄绳子给我吧，这个位置的。这个就拿这。这下这边5分钟。
是要头还是要整个？
就要头。
这上面有头啊？
OK 好了。
这有2个头。
哦。
你装在前面2个。
这个是干净的。So these are two, we plug this to the cutting head and welding head. So the most common failure is that when the cutting head and welding head, when you are welding highly reflective material, or you didn't, the dusty environment. And most failure for the laser source is that there is a protective cap on the QVH connector. Inside this cap is the crystal. So this, when you buy a laser source, or we call it the laser source, is that this cable goes to the optics, the cutting head and welding head, and this is the laser source. So, like this crystal is completely burned. There is a dot in the middle. So this will, the failure you will have is that your machine doesn't cut, or you don't weld anymore. Your customer calling you that my machine is not cut, my machine is not welding, and you have to stop. Otherwise, you even burn everything inside. So if the cap is dirty, when you unplug it from the cutting head, you just need to change this. And we have all the size of these caps in our shop in DMK. So we suggest you to keep some in stock, so you can switch it when it gets dirty. Otherwise, if you burn the crystal inside, then you need to change the cable. So many times customers ask me, oh, my crystal is burned. Can I buy a cable and change it myself? No, because when you change this cable, you need these tools, and you need engineers. You need to cut, weld, and then you need to test the welding points and to run the laser if the power is okay. So that's a big problem. So everybody involved in laser business, you have been aware that laser is afraid of dust, dirt. So everything we do is to protect it. More protecting windows, complete sealing of the cutting head and welding heads, and the suction of the machine, just to keep it clean. Every single little dust will create problems. So this is a failure, and another big failure that we have in China or maybe globally is that on the season switch from the winter to the spring, not now, but in the winter, from autumn to winter, that's when the time very cold, and if you don't run the machine 24 hours, if the chiller has been stopped, if you don't have anti-frozen things in the chiller, then the freezing of the laser gives a lot of failures. Because in the laser source there is a resonator, and it generates a lot of heat. So in the bottom of these circuits of this resonator, there are many micro channels. The cooling water is running there to keep the constant temperature of the chamber. So if the water freezes, the micro channels will be destroyed. That's a very bad hurt to the laser source. Mostly are unrepairable. So if a frozen laser, you destroy the structure, it's very difficult to get it back. So this is another, so every winter comes, we have to send warnings. You need to send warnings to your customer and remind them to run the chiller all the time. Or if they doesn't use the machine in the night or for a few days, they need to put anti-frozen add-ins to the water. So this is another typical failure. Another failure is that when you cut high reflective, like copper, brass, aluminium, mirror, stainless steel, you get a lot of reflection. And the reflection goes back to the being passed from the cutting head and back to the laser, and you burn sometimes the diodes, mostly the combiners, CPS, sometimes the red beam. So that's typical, If you cut high reflective, normally you charge higher price for cutting on that or welding on that. But this is a risk for burning the laser inside. So in that case, changing a cable is easier. Almost 100% people trained here, when they go back with the tools, they can change the cable, no problem. But if you open it when everything burned inside, you need to take off this and that and go back to plug them again. It's the second level. But still you can do that. So this is the third type of failure. And the fourth type of failure is the circuits. It's electrical board. Sometimes we have failure. They run many times every day. And especially for certain brands, Raycus, Max, or BWT, or Rich, many brands, they change the parts because lasers become smaller and smaller and cheaper and cheaper. So, for us, this is a very technical job and service. You need, every time if you have a failure of the laser source, first thing you need to do is to plug the software, of course, and diagnose what's happening. And if you contact with us, first you need to do is you send us the label of the laser, a video, a screenshot of the software you had with that. So we help you to diagnose what's happening with the laser. Because every model, each serial number of each brand is different. Maybe they use different parts. So this is a problem because China is changing so quickly. You never find exactly the same product maybe So in each series, because they use different parts, they have different failure rates. So for the electrical circuit, this is easier. I think most engineers, even you haven't been trained here, if it's an electrical problem, we can help you to open it and to find the problem part, and we send you the new one and you can solve it. The difference is that the radius is easy because the electrical and optical are separate. But max is a little bit complicated. They kind of combine it together. So, I mean, in configuration, not so easy to change. When you come to be trained, in the first day, our engineer will teach you. We will put different IPG radius and max mainly, and then we'll show you that how is this three kind of lasers they made of the structure, the configuration. And so this is the most common failures. So today I think we can show you, because now we have the laser cable broken, so I will call our engineer to switch the fiber in front of you, and then during he doing the job, and I will introduce the tools that he's using. You know. So now what we are doing is to fixing the output cable from the source. This is the tail of the fiber, because we just put the new fiber inside, and each fiber will come with this tail. The tail is very long, so to give you, if you failed for the cutting spice, because太长了，所以你要盘一下嘛。
对，我要找一下位置，找一下就是那个光纤这里面就是个接缆，我要看一下。
你把它直接接到这儿。
对。
So now he's placing the joint. After find the place of the joint, now he's feeding the fiber. So many people ask me when their cable broken, and they say if I can just buy a new cable and plug and unplug. So now you know that there's no plug in the source. All the fibers are welded together because fiber are made of crystal. So we use this machine to melt the two fiber, the fiber in the source and the fiber of new cable. We melt them together and then we put in the source. Before welding, we need to cut, because when you melt the two fibers, the verticality, the angle is very important. Standing this. And you need to buy a good quality machine, especially for high power. In the future, if you want to repair 6 kilowatt, maybe 12 kilowatt, and you need to use there's high power, but it's very beautiful thing, like my hair fiber. So the joint, if you didn't cut well, and if you didn't weld them well, the joint will overheating, and you lost the welding. And this is very bad. So choosing a good tool makes your work easier and more smooth. So now it's cutting. Now it's cutting because you need to cut. We have to put two fibers together. So now it's cutting one. And for the fibers, 去取一个光纤来啊？
数一数。
这可以随便扯吗，超哥？
可以啊，这可以吗？
小心相机。This is the fiber. 你看清吗？我的手臂。 So this is the fiber,
不是分了。
very thin, and this is already peeled. You're clapping. So the fiber, by eyes, you cannot see the diameter. So fiber has different diameters for different power. For Rakers, 1.5 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, and the core diameter and cladding. Normally we have two sides, two parameters. When you buy these machines, they will tell you the working range, like how big fiber they work. So the maximum core diameter and the cladding diameter. Normally our machine is 1,000, if I remember well, 1,100 micrometer for the cladding. And for Max Rakers, different brand of laser, IPG, and different power and different part. For the cable, for the combiner, for the CPS, the size are different. And we know all the Chinese brands, the size of every part, but for some Nite or some IPG, we need IPG, we know. But for some very, special model of lasers, we need to check with the laser source manufacturer. But for Rakers, we know everything. So the size, you just tell us the model of the source, serial number, we will check the diameter. And every engineer who trained here, we will teach you, and you have to practically peeling, capping, and welding all the sides of the fibers. 已经切完了吗？
要能切了。
哦，切的角度不对啊。
对对对。
So it's this job is a very detailed work. Even mostly are guys to do this. Some engineers are very good at it. Some engineers are very heavy. They cannot, hit it very carefully. It's a very small thing. Some of them they do it the whole afternoon, and they even practice in the midnight in the hotel. But some are very good at it. Anyway, it's a very patient work. So what I suggest is that, if you are involved in this business, if you run the company selling laser cutting machines for welding machines from China, or if you are a service engineer, you in charge of the service of all the machines with lasers from China. The first thing you need to do without coming here, you need to connect us. And you need to, on your laptop, your computer, you need to diagnose the software for Max, for Rakers, for IPG, and for IPG is very difficult.
their own software.
But for Rakers and Max, they have software company. So you need to put on your computer and laptop. At least when your machine has issues, problems, failures, when the alarms goes red or yellow alarms, you need to read the dial of the laser. You need to connect. You need the cable. Some are the special cable. Some, there are different size. You need the software. So you need to equip yourself with the possibility to read the problems and alarms in the first time. If you can read the laser properly, mostly we can help you to limit the problem. We can find a problem together. Like, what's the problem? Power supply, or the cable, or the voltage is not right for the laser source. Then we can tell you what part you need to change. We will fold. And if you have the tools, and we can send you the part, and you can do that. For some of our customers who has been trained here, after they go back, and they will, buy some cables and stuff. And because the first step of job they do is to switch the cables. And some of them, just stock some cables. And you can stock some second-hand lasers. In another room, we have many second-hand lasers, because in China the power goes very high. Now we have many 2 kilowatts, 3 kilowatts, even 6 kilowatts as a second-hand. We get that from the customers. We repaired, and they are in very good condition, full power output. So we will suggest that if you have been trained here, go back to your country, and you set up a little room, and you can prepare some second-hand lasers. So once your machine has problems, you can get this second-hand as your customer as a backup, and then you take back the broken one, and we will help you to repair them, because you will need time to diagnose, to get the part, and to switch them, and then to test again. So you probably will need some days. And then second-hand laser is very important. So after you repair this laser, you put it back on your customer machine, you take back the backup, keep the whole things running. So peeling the fiber is sometimes experienced engineers, they do it very quickly. Sometimes they spend longer time. And sometimes you can, because these machines are very small, the tools, you can put it in a luggage case, and you take train, you go to the customer. Even they don't, mostly in China, some of them, they send the broken lasers to us. We repair and send it back. Sometimes our engineers go there. Of course, we will charge, the travel cost, the time of the engineer, and to visit on site, and to change the cable on site, or to repair it in the factory. And in that case, you not only need to repair the laser, but also you need to unplug from the cutting head. You have to clean the environment and get it back and repair and then put it back. And sometimes you have to help back into the production, maybe the cutting parameters. So in that case, we charge more.
它这个因为光纤比较粗，然后可能它这个夹具就是稍小一点。
3000的话很粗吗？
它包层不一样，就是涂层。现在这个切割的话还可以。
右边
左边，它因为它这个就是切割的时候，因为它这个包层画的涂层比较粗，然后可能夹具可能就夹起力来会稍微有一点点就拉扯。那这个的话，基本上不影响。
你就看这个，你这样看出来。
对，就是看它整个专业的柔韧度，因为它放金属的时候，它会把这个就是稍微在一起。看，就是可以看这个中间就是熔接完成之后的一个
线呢？
对，就是一个缝隙。基本上像这样的话，它平度是比较好的。如果说它这个是阴影比较大，或者有那种黑色的， 就是中间像有气泡这种的话，可能就需要重新接触。这种的话就是容易效率比较良好。
纯靠目测吗？
它自己也会有一个，就是
它人不好，它
对，它损耗会比较大的。就这个地方溶解损耗这个地方，它会。
现在0.03是比较好的。
对。
如果大是多少？
就大的话，它就会显示一个红色。
哦。
就这样就记好了。
Now we finish the splicing because we already cut 2 ends. Now it's become 1 fiber. So we will put it back in the source. I think it's very beautiful of the laser. I've been selling cutting machines for many years, but I never, the first time I see the open the laser, I think it's very beautiful. And yeah, I think I didn't introduce that laser composer. 160万只。Laser made of optical and electrical. We gave current of electricity, and then first we have the belt pumping, and as the pumping module, they gave the pumping laser, out laser, and then they goes to the resonator, which is many very long fibers and the circling inside, and then which is amplifier. So the dark laser combined as one and then goes inside amplifier and then become higher power. And then we take off the reflections. We combine them together with the red beam, and then we come out with the delivery fiber. So this is the laser composer. 你是要把那个点，
对，给它是固化的，就像给它加一层那个涂层。
哦，就涂胶是吧？
对，那个胶的话就相当于是光线的涂层。
这个。
对，那个一德是你看。
This is a gel, a glue. No low reflective. So after melted, then place it, and then we will glue it. Because we're peeling the cladding of the fiber. So to protect the core fiber, we now make the cladding, which is a gel, and then we will solidate it. 是用紫外灯照吗？
对，就是紫外灯。
With the ultraviolet lamp to heat the glue and to solidate.这还是你自己画的格子啊？
对，就是可以控制大小，就是可能就是它那个比较窄的地方的话，可能就需要比较小。是。这个手工。
This is the UV light. 让我看，要按一下那个光就行了。
对，就是这里面开关好了。
UV Q 没什么。紫外光照人是不是有毒啊？
它没有毒，就是说对眼睛的伤害比较大。它
尖尖的。
我是比较平一点。
哦。
就是滴它的两端，
中间不用搞吗？
中间需要就是系统让
为啥？
有可能就是
不粘了。
对，它那个地方可能不太粘。
然后也有可能你不是那个弧度上它有点硬硬，
对对对，
你要不要加一点？
没事，我先把这两边给它用格兰灯给它烤干，然后拍你会给你。
So now we are using the UV cooler machine to solidate the glue
对，
to fix the pipe. 又敲起来了。
没事，就是它已经固定好了，就是它这个胶水也有固定的作用。
这搞得挺精细啊，蛮节奏的。多搞一点，那我就多铺上2块。这个女生干这个活可能还好，太精细了。你把那个洗关了嘛？Okay, so this is almost going to finish. So I'm going to introduce you the tools for repairing. This is the main tool for price and also for in most cases you will use them. Cutting and the welding, cutting and splicing. So for the fiber. And then there are some small tools like this UV curing machine and stabilizer. And another important is the power meter. Because every time when we repair anything inside it, we need to shoot the laser to check if you get the power losing or if you recover the whole laser to the power range. So power meter, in terms of cost, cutting and especially splicing, very expensive. Cutting, splicing, power meter, these are made free. Others are very minor things. Interferometer, sometimes you need to buy, especially for, in the second step, when you run the, like this, base capability of the lamps. And interferometer is that when you change the combiner CPS, those things inside, or the laser burn very worse. So after change, you need to switch on the laser and you use the interferometer to see all the joints if there is any heating up, and this is needed. So for
要不然把它切。
还有切。This is a interferometer. 刚是断了。
你看，
那 iPad 怎么断了？ Yes.
你来看，会有那个往上。
After finish, you put in. So cutting machine, welding machine, interferometer. Let me show you the power meter. So the last part is that, so engineer has already finished the cable change.
这个
你可以取。
这个给我
怎么
就行，
取呢？会。
给我就行。对，这个是，我来。
So it's fiber cutting and fiber welding and power meter. Normally before you shipping to your customers, back to work, and to shoot the laser on this, and then this will shows that how much power you get. So it's power meter, and this is the interferometer, like what I said. You switch on the laser and you like this viewing that if all the heating up are in control, or if they're somewhere that very strangely heating up. So all these tools will give you a set price, and as a plus the course, the training course. So today I've been introducing why we need to come here and to be trained, and what kind of failures is most often with laser, and how to solve that failures, and what kind of tools we're going to use. And we also show you engineers that are using these tools. So probably if you decide to come, we will send you a quote with all the tools, training course, 3 days in Wuhan, and accommodations. And then if you decide to come, what you will learn here in the first day, we will have translator, because many customers has been trained here. So engineers will show, and we will give you course on IPG Max and breakers, all the lasers. You will see in real, open them, and how they compose, what kind of software you need, and the features of each brand of lasers, and you to know every part, diodes and things, every single part. And then the second day, we will teach you in practice how to solve each problem. Diagnose this and change the fiber, and change the combiner, and also we will have broken lasers every day, so you can touch it from place. And in the last day, you need to do it on your own. The teacher will give you a task, which is a test, and then you will do that. You will change the fiber yourself, check the power, and test the laser, and you will do like our engineers do. And if you are qualified, we'll give you a certificate that you've been authorized by us, not by Rakers, and you are able to do this job. So when you're back to your country and somehow it's proof that you have been trained properly. But it's just the beginning of our cooperation. I mean, as DMK Laser, by selling these tools, and the training course is only $5,000, and it's not making profits for the company, and it's a huge load of work, because when you're back to your country and you start running the business and you have more problems, you will always in a group chat with our sales, with our engineers, and we have video today in the night, and these alarms and how to solve it, what's the problem, what kind of part I need to buy. So I mean, it's a long journey we're going to do together. I think most of our sales, and mostly you probably need to send it back to China, and then they repair in for Max and Breakers. They have their stock house in the customers. Even maybe you don't need to import, but still you take time to shipping back and repair, and then shipping back to you. That's the cost of money and time. Or like Breakers and Max, they have